Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Last night I published a video on YouTube highlighting that the SEC may get a bit of a do-over, but didn't really focus heavily on it. These were comments made by attorney Fred Rispoli, member of the XRP community, and he is the attorney who sued Jay Clayton and William Hinman and then retracted it just for now after speaking with attorney Deaton. He said that he decided that maybe the timing now isn't the best, but he fully intends to sue them again in the future. So that attorney Rispoli, he's the one that stated that, and it's caught quite a bit of attention, let's say, within the XRP community. A lot of people have been talking about this, and he expanded upon his ideas, this idea of an SEC do-over in terms of the SEC. What are they going to argue? They're going to argue that the Bill Hinman theory of free pass speech, is it really just his opinion? Could they somehow also argue instead now that it's official position of the SEC? Well, Fred Rispoli, it's not that he thinks it's necessarily highly probable, but he acknowledges that it's possible. So I'm going to share with you what he had to say and also perspective on this very topic from attorney John Deaton. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, there's this article published today from Finance Feeds titled SEC v. Ripple, Court Orders Conference Call on Hinman Documents on June 7th. And it's actually covering today everything that I covered last night, coincidentally. So, actually, I'll mention this too. For those of you that want to call in to this court hearing, the information is on your screen right there. Again, it's going to be June 7th. Everything you need to know right there. We didn't know last night as I was recording the video whether or not there would be an opportunity to call in. Now, previously, there had been a limit of 4,000 participants can call, and then that's all their system can handle. Presumably, it's the same setup, so I think there's going to be a cap at 4,000, which has been hit every time. So if you want to hop on this call, better start calling sooner than later. But anyway, that's the phone number right there. This is publicly available information, which has been circulated initially by Judge Sarah Netburn here. So to set the table properly, here's part of what I covered. It just happens to be in this Finance Feed article from today. Fred Rispoli, an attorney with a focus on complex high-stakes litigation, regulatory compliance, and business relations, commented on this unusual hearing setting. And here's a quote. First, an in-person hearing allows certain privacy. In courtroom will be on record, but Judge Netburn can also take attorneys back to her office in chambers for an off-the-record discussions. Nothing prevents her from ruling without a hearing, so why order one? My gut tells me she wants to politely rake SEC over the coals for such a bleep show of motion practice on this issue. Force SEC to take positions it cannot waffle on later. In chambers, she could also alert Ripple in front of SEC that emails are terrible for SEC. She could also let SEC know that Torres is highly likely to overturn Netburn's decision. The danger option for Ripple is if Netburn, and this is the part that, there's some contention around this. The danger option for Ripple is if Netburn allows SEC a do-over in the sense that she forces it to choose once and for all whether Hinman's speech was personal or on behalf of SEC, as it has quasi-argued at various points. This is unlikely in my opinion, but would give the SEC a chance to save face while simultaneously pushing the dagger further into the SEC on fair notice defense, and it's already pretty deep up in there. And so out of everything I covered in my video, that's all you need to know for me to be able to go forward there. I had to do a little bit of table setting here. But regarding this SEC do-over, admittedly, I was a little bit surprised to hear that from him, but hey, I'm not the lawyer. I appreciate every attorney's unique perspective that's covering this case. And he did expand upon this today. Now, XRP community member Stefan Huber, upon reading that article from Finance Feeds, didn't seem to buy this concept, and he wrote the following. Sorry, the judge can't let the SEC choose if it's a personal opinion or not. It's not about what the SEC wants, it's about facts and evidence. And Hinman said it was his personal opinion. If she allows the SEC to create their own reality, then it's freaking over. Am I right? And then he tagged a number of the attorneys within the community, including Fred Rispoli, and he wrote, please tell me Netburn won't let the SEC do a do-over. This would mean she wasted one entire year for absolutely nothing at all. Yeah, and so, odds aside, the idea of this happening, you can see why this would cause a stir within the community right now. I mean, because if it happens, like it would be absurd. It would absolutely be absurd. Here's what Attorney Rispoli had to say on this. In the full context of my response, I think the do-over is a possible but unlikely outcome. And you can see in parentheses he wrote 5%, meaning 5% odds that there's actually a do-over for the SEC. And then he wrote, it centers on the fact that SEC has now argued two opposite positions. If Netburn gives SEC full deferential respect, it is possible she allows it to pick one, but it wouldn't be an entire waste. If SEC goes other route, it accepts responsibility for the speech, and there was a big reason it chose not to go this route originally. Again, the do-over is very unlikely and still helps Ripple, but not as much given ferocity the email fight turned into. So I'll just pause to note, even if this actually happened, and the SEC was allowed to declare its official decree, the whole Hinman speech, everything surrounding it, its official SEC decree, even if they did that, which would presumably allow them to successfully defend all of the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass emails and the drafts of the speech, and probably wouldn't have to hand those over. So in theory, that's good for the SEC, but then it just strengthens Ripple's fair notice defense, because if you apply XRP, and think about this, if you apply XRP to the standards set forth in the Hinman speech, it satisfies them better than Ethereum does. So that would not really go well for the SEC. So I'm not convinced that they'd even want it to be viewed that way, even if given an opportunity, but it's an interesting concept here. And then there was also, this. He expanded even further upon this idea. He wrote, I just spent the last hour or so reviewing Hinman's declaration and the deposition transcript we have from Exhibit to Doc 300, which was August 17th, 2021. Again, although I do not think Netburn allows SEC to change its position on whether speech was Hinman's personal opinion, there is a chance. Why? Because his declaration is, like I believe his persona to be, weaselly. Paragraph 7 states he has no first-hand knowledge of facts of lawsuit, then states in paragraph 10 he was, quote, involved in a number of internal commission meetings, end quote, about the lawsuit. So, just pause. How is that? He has no first-hand knowledge, but he was in a number of internal commission meetings? How are both of those things true? That doesn't seem to make sense, does it? Anyway, Attorney Rispoli continues. The speech on paragraph 13, yes, it was, quote, my own personal views, end quote, but prepared, quote, with other commission employees as part of the commission's ongoing deliberations, end quote. Although I am greatly troubled by the emails from the SEC to Hinman about his known ongoing financial conflicts of interests, he's not dumb. So think about this. He's saying it's his own personal opinion, but he's also saying that, how does it word it here again? It was created with, again, this is the quote, commission employees as part of the commission's ongoing deliberations. So Hinman literally said it's both. So you can see why Attorney Rispoli is arguing this. Not that he thinks it's likely, but he's saying here's the reason. Even Hinman saying that it was both effectively. You could interpret that either way, right? So I understand the point that Attorney Rispoli is stating here. And then he continues. His declaration was rehearsed and went through many drafts with SEC attorneys before the final product. Looking back now, SEC was actually smart. It came up with a document that allowed it to straddle both sides if Plan A, the speech was his personal opinion, went belly up. Plan A did fall apart, so now it's on to Plan B for SEC, focusing on how speech was actually more SEC work than Hinman's. And reviewing the pieces of the deposition transcript we have, the excerpts about edits to the speech were rehearsed enough between Hinman and his handlers that he had no idea why Seaman made some edits. But his testimony fell into the classic trap all opponents hit when trying to hide something. He can't remember anything about his job except in vivid, laser-like detail that he told Ripple that XRP was a security. Juries never buy that. Isn't that kind of funny how he just doesn't remember a damn thing, but he very clearly remembers he warned Ripple, hey, they told you that's a security. XRP is a security. Funny how his memory works, isn't it? I even retweeted that and wrote something to that effect. It's like, funny how Bill Hinman's memory works. He's forgotten everything about what he did, despite being on these commissions, this and that, and all these emails that he's been a recipient of. You can't remember a damn thing except for this very consequential thing which would support the SEC. Funny how that works, isn't it? Oh, okay, gotcha. Now, Attorney Deaton, he wrote the following on this topic. He said, Judge Netburn ruled that it is settled and Hinman's speech was his personal opinion. It doesn't mean the market didn't consider it as guidance. It's very unlikely a judge uses that terminology and then rules otherwise. SEC should be ready for some poignant and tough questions. Yeah, and so a lot of people, there's an attorney, I can't remember who it was, I made a video about it back in the day when this all came down. Because again, Netburn said, hey, it's settled, Hinman's speech was his personal opinion. Well, there is an attorney that argued, yep, it's just his personal opinion, so there you go. Okay, but it still impacted the market. How did the market respond to it, even if it's just his personal opinion? The market responded as though it was official guidance from the SEC, especially the way it was presented. So both those things can be true. And if that's market guidance, what does that mean for Ripple specifically? And what does that mean for their fair notice defense? Think about it. So both things can be true, which is true and good for Ripple. I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.